Hello and welcome, this is Mouse Gunner, and in this edition of Space Engineers, we are going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do some weapons testing. This is predominantly for my large ship build. I'm trying to figure out some weapon systems that work. And we're going to start off with a prototype of a very simple torpedo. Essentially, the way this thing was built is it's just a light armor block core, just like essentially a one width strip of light armor with thrusters placed in every direction, a little bit extra thrusters in the back, and one thruster right here. Obviously surrounded by explosives. We have a couple reactors just to power everything, and we have a gyroscope here on the bottom, and of course a remote control block, a camera up on the front, and then, as I said, a number of explosives, and one right here on the tip so that we can make this a contact explosive. Without that one on the tip, essentially all that would happen is the camera would smack the target and nothing would happen. You can still get it to work because you can remote detonate the bombs, but it would be nice just to have a contact explosive in case you would want that particular functionality. So we're going to go ahead and test one of these on our targets over there. And then I have a small ship here, and we're going to demonstrate the difference in power of one of these and just a shipborne rocket to see what the difference is. So I'm going to hop in my little chair here. I'm going to hit the control panel. I'm going to switch to one of the bombs. I'm going to open up my remote control. I'm going to take control. Now I already have the a few things selected down my bar, so if I hit 1, activates the camera. 2 activates the safety. Now, the one thing that I'll say about the safety is when it says armed, it actually means that's what action the button would do. So this is safe right now. This is armed. This is safe. This is armed. This is safe. So that's interesting. But in any case, and 3 is detonate. So we can remote detonate it, or as I said, we can contact detonate it. So I'm just going to go for a contact detonation on this target here on the left. And as you can see, I can control this thing pretty, well. And it is a decent speed, a little bit heavy on the gyroscope, so it's a little challenging to get it perfectly targeted sometimes if you're going really fast. So let's go ahead and hop out of our seat and we can see what happened. So this is a very simple bomb. Essentially, we're just using it as a camera-guided bomb. We could put, fancy sensors on there and have it be self-guiding. But that, it takes a lot of resources to do that, and I'm trying to make these as, cheap as possible, essentially. So as we can see here, it essentially ate through one layer of armor and deformed that second layer of armor, but not much more than that. This is a 3 thick light armor block. It did hit right on the target though. So let's see what the difference between the rockets from a small ship fighter would give us. So I have one rocket launcher, and I'm going to aim on the target here on the right. And first I have to, of course, select the weapon. So let's go ahead and bring that down into our toolbar. And now we have it lit up. We'll put it right on the black. And there we go. And as you can see, and we'll hop out just to show you, it did not do nearly enough damage. As a matter of fact, it did not even destroy any of the light armor blocks. It only dented the first layer. Now, they did do a bit of modification to the way that armor acts, making it a little bit harder to just, punch through internal components with explosives now. So just to demonstrate, I'm going to hit this thing 3 more times and demonstrate that even with 3 strikes, which would have, with that particular rocket launcher, would have emptied out the ammo, we're only really destroying maybe that very center block. Most of the rest is just made me a little bit of warping, whereas this ate through several of the first layer of blocks. So you can see the difference in power. Now, I'm going to demonstrate this on a actual ship so we can see the effectiveness. And I have a few of these to demonstrate on that ship. And there's a couple different strategies of how you can use this. And first I'm going to demonstrate just hitting the side of the armor. and showing that maybe that's not the best way to go. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select another one of these, and I'm going to hit my remote control block, hit control, and we're going to just go for the side somewhere, not really particular. Let's just say right about here. Now if we hop out, we'll see that although it did quite a bit of damage to that exterior layer, it did not actually punch in to the internals. So that's kind of a problem, because that's really what we're going for with these weapons. But because these are guided bombs, we have a little bit of a advantage. If we can try and find a weak spot on the ship, and I already kind of have one in mind, so we're going to go ahead and load up another one of these bombs. We're going to control it, and we're going to hit our camera. I'm going to go after this glass piece right here. And as you can see, I pretty much went in there full speed. Hopefully I was able to break the glass. I think I was. Let's just double check. Oh, unfortunately I hit a little bit off. Not really demonstrating the purpose I had in mind here. Alright, we have a clean slate and 4 more bombs, so we're going to try and go for that weak spot again. I have done this in testing, but unfortunately, when you turn on the camera, sometimes you don't get it. And as you can see, it can be pretty quick to activate these, especially if I weren't to hop out of the chair every time. Alright, let's try and... Oh! I don't think I got what I was aiming for. But that might have actually done what we were looking for. So let's hop in another one. That's kind of the problem with going in high speed, is you lose a little bit of your control. Let's see if we can hop inside. Yes, we can. So I hit a weak spot, right? Now we can actually slowly come in. Now we're actually inside the ship. And that's about as far in as I could wedge myself. So we're going to arm our safety and detonate. Now we can see what the result was. Now, not only did I hit a weak spot that cracked the armor, we also hit a major ship system and that engine. But as you can see, now that I'm in the internal part of the ship, I have just completely and totally devastated the ship. And that's the real advantage of these bombs, is if once they can get in, they can do quite a lot of damage. And that's a lot of that is the way that this is built. The fact that when you hit on the front, mostly the explosives that are going to do damage are these ones in the front. With these ones, once you get inside, it's going to actually expand out and devastate a lot more of the surface area of the ship, not just that frontal area. So let's go ahead and put another bomb in there and pull another one up. And this time we're not going to leave our chair. We're just going to keep hitting these things. Okay, so... and off we go. Now, if you have more than one weapons officer, you could essentially send more than one of these at a time and follow them up. Now, I see that gravity generator right there on my last go-through. So we're going to put this right underneath that and arm it, and boom. And more than likely, we just knocked out the ship's only gravity source. So now they have no gravity on the ship. So we can pull it up again and hit our camera. And now we're going to go after a different part of their ship. As a matter of fact, we probably opened this thing up enough that we may be able to get into the bridge. You know what? It looks like we might not be able to. Oh, there we go. Unfortunately, the way that the bridge is it's actually behind this door here is where the bridge is, and I'm not going to be able to sneak in with what holes I have. But let's just go ahead. Let's say we've damaged the ship enough, and we're going to want to breach in here and try and get to the bridge. I can actually see the bridge from where I am, so lay off the last one. And now we can see the effect of just 4 of these bombs placed in strategic places. So the first one gave us our entry hole. The second one allowed us to come in to the ship. and we see the devastation that those two bombs on the interior, you know, had on the ship. And as we can see, there is absolutely no gravity on the ship because we took out that gravity. Now we can come in and we're actually deep in the heart of the ship, and I believe we might have taken out, oh no, we just came short of taking out the bridge. But now, with our troops, we can easily get in here, so we pretty much savaged this ship. Now, it's still probably controllable if I get on the ship. We'll see to what extent we can control it. Okay, so it's still controllable, it still has gyroscopes, it still has thrust, so it's not dead in the water. But definitely very much devastated. We probably would have killed, if there were more than just the guy piloting the ship, we would have killed some of their crew, and we would have definitely devastated a lot of their ship systems. Now the one thing I want to point out though is the great thing about these bombs is once you get them in their ship, what are they going to do about it exactly? They can't grind on it, they can't shoot it, because either of those activities and the bomb will just get set off and kill whoever's trying to deactivate it and destroy the inside of the ship. So once you get it in their ship, more or less, there's not a whole lot they can do about it. As you can see, they also have a frontal bridge here, and this is another weak spot we could hit. Glass isn't too sturdy. We hit a bomb right here on this front plate, we'll probably kill everyone in this room just with that first entry bomb. And even if we don't do that, we'll put another bomb in here. And now that we're inside internals, and these interior ship blocks are very weak to explosives, and we'd just be able to just carve the ship out and then just send another bomb in here and come into this part and carve the ship out again. So that's essentially the strategy with these. Now, the weak point, though, is the fact that we have those explosives on the outside. If they knew the attack was coming and they were hostile to us, they could set up their turrets to shoot them down. So that is one of the real weak points of these weapons, is the fact that one of these, all they have to do is just hit it a little bit, and you'll set off all those explosives on the exterior. But I'm afraid to put on any armor blocks on the outside, because the way the armor blocks work now is it would essentially muffle the blast of the explosion. So it'd be interesting to see what effect exterior armor would have on these bombs, and how that would change the explosive potential, and how well that would even protect it against one of these. Maybe in our next test, we'll activate one of these and see if we can actually get the bomb in before they shoot it down. So maybe I'll cut out and we'll try that. Okay, so we have it set up. That turret is now set as an enemy, and it's going to try and shoot at us. So we'll see if we can get by it. I ate quite a few bullets trying to set that thing up, but let's go ahead and get our weapons set on target and see if we can get past it. And this could be the main weakness of this whole setup, is not being able to get past this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go around a little bit so that I can get a little bit of a head of steam on this thing. And it's going to be kind of difficult maybe to go for a weak ship system or a weak spot, but we're going to try it anyway. I'm coming in fast. There it goes, it shot me down. Oh, but it looks like I hit anyway. Interesting. Okay, so let's send another one. So, and it looked like that did a lot of damage. I guess it shoot me down was actually better for me than if I had actually probably hit. So let's get this one going. Get our camera. Alright, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to get a head of steam on it. And see if we can get into the same spot we hit before. Hopefully it doesn't shoot us down first. It did. But it still looks like we're hitting. That's the funny thing about it, is it shoots us down, but I'm not exactly sure what happens at that point. But it seems that when it hits it, it knocks it out, but part of the explosives essentially spread out like a shotgun when it breaks apart and literally smacks the ship. So it's very interesting. I didn't expect that at all. I just expected an immediate explosion the second they hit us, but apparently this works very well as an anti-ship weapon. So, knocking into things here. I don't want to get too close because it is set at a certain radius. Now, maybe if it had a little bit more time to deal with me, I didn't set it for too long of a range for the guns because I didn't want it shooting down my little platform there, because it was essentially just start shooting at that platform the second I set it up. So I had to set it, I think I set it at like 125 meters. So it has 125 meters to shoot me down. May not be enough reaction time. So if it could shoot me down all the way back here, it may have a chance at it. You know what? I'm seeing antennas from the old weapon. So I kind of wonder, is that thing, is parts of that ship, the ship surviving? So I'm going to go right at it. Okay, that time it got me and I didn't hit it. So it seems like if you go straight at it, it has a better chance of completely intercepting. Whereas if you go at an angle when it's shooting at you at an angle, it doesn't fully destroy you. Now I'm going to go in there, but because that thing's set as an enemy, it's going to shoot me, but I'm not going to die. Alright, I had no recourse but to blow it up, so ignore that damage there. So I was seeing antennas, yeah, drifting. So I wonder what those are. Oh, okay, so it's not anything. So apparently, maybe that's where it blew up, and then they're just telling me that's where it blew up. That's funny that you have the remnant of the antenna, even though there is no antenna. So that's where the one that went straight on got blown up, right here. And then the other two that came at an angle, this one got hit here, and the other one got hit here. So they still got hit a pretty good distance away from the ship, but for whatever reason, not all of the ship blew up, and it actually shotgunned the outside of the ship with explosives. So, still an effective weapon, interestingly enough, and actually probably did more damage than if they had just hit. So, very interesting effect there. So, if you see where the enemy turrets are, and you can actually go at an angle, more than likely, even if they hit you, you'll just spray the enemy ship with explosions. So that's very interesting. Now, from what I saw there, if you go straight on with the turret, though, it can actually shoot you down and you don't have a chance. So it'd be interesting to see what would happen on a ship where it has a lot more turrets than just the one, trying to shoot down your bombs to see if they would just get shot out of the sky, or if they'd actually do the same effect where it essentially shotguns the outside, the exterior of the ship, causing devastating damage. So very interesting. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little test of some weapon systems. This is Mouse Gunner signing out.